Now we take you live to Paris, where special briefing by India's Ministry of External Affairs is taking place.
Ministry of External Affairs, Shri Amit Shukla. With that, I invite Foreign Secretary, sir, to make his opening remarks. Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Randeep. Good afternoon, all. Just a few words about Prime Minister's ongoing visit to France. At the invitation of President Emmanuel Macron, as you know, Prime Minister arrived in Paris yesterday on a visit to France for co-chairing the AI Action Summit and also to attend a number of bilateral engagements. On arrival at the airport yesterday, he was welcomed by the French Minister for Armed Forces, His Excellency Sébastien Lecornu, and you would have perhaps noticed on arrival at the hotel yesterday evening, the Prime Minister received very warm and enthusiastic traditional welcome by the Indian community in Paris. Prime Minister's first engagement yesterday was a dinner hosted by President Macron in honor of the visiting heads of state and government and other heads of international organizations, tech entrepreneurs who are all here for the AI Summit. And at the dinner, Prime Minister interacted with several leaders and representatives of the tech industry. This morning, Prime Minister and President Macron were together co-chairing the plenary session of the AI Summit. I'll leave the details of the AI Summit to my colleague and dear friend, Secretary Meity, Shri S. Krishnan. But on the bilateral front, I think the summit adds yet another aspect to the growing India-France strategic partnership, and in keeping with our track record of cooperation in a number of areas, whether it's space, defense, nuclear, critical technologies, it's only natural that we cooperate in the artificial intelligence sphere as well. And you'll be seeing as the visit goes on that there will be bilateral deliverables as well on the AI front. Besides that, the Prime Minister today held a bilateral meeting on the sidelines of the AI Summit with the President of Estonia, His Excellency Alar Karis. This was the first meeting between the two leaders, and both of them expressed satisfaction at the growing bilateral cooperation in several fields, including especially the IT and digital sphere, and agreed to increase institutional and people-to-people engagements between the two countries. As you're aware, this evening, Prime Minister will be co-chairing or the Prime Minister and the President will be jointly addressing the India-France CEOs Forum. And following that, Prime Minister will depart for Marseille, where also bilateral engagements between him and President Macron are foreseen, perhaps sometime tomorrow. But let me stop there, and I'll pass the floor to Secretary Meity, Shri Krishnan, to brief you on the AI Summit.
Thank you, Vikram. The Honorable Prime Minister co-chaired along with President Macron the AI Action Summit here in Paris. This is the third in a series of AI summits, starting with the Bletchley Park AI Safety Summit in the UK, and followed by the AI Summit in Seoul last May. This time around, the emphasis it was called the AI Action Summit, and the emphasis has truly been on innovation-driven AI, as opposed to the accent being on safety and security, and the whole tenor of the meeting and the entire summit was much more positive in orientation, with the emphasis on the possible opportunities for innovation and positive development that AI presents, as opposed to a fear about what the harms could be or what the negative outcomes could be. And this was partly driven also by India's own mindset and India's own attitude towards what AI offers. And India's policy position on AI has been that the emphasis needs to be on the possibility of innovation and the possibility that it offers for greater productivity and opportunity to leapfrog in terms of growth and development, while being cognizant of possible harms and what can be done to mitigate them. The emphasis in India has not been so much on the regulation of AI, and this was a point I think was broadly appreciated by a number of the world leaders who were present here today, as also many of the technology leaders who were present. India has endorsed the leader's statement on inclusive and sustainable AI, as also given a commitment to AI for public interest, which were the two major outcomes of this particular summit, both on sustainability and covering the aspect of how it can be used for positive benefits. India has also supported the establishment of the AI Foundation, as the Prime Minister had already offered. In terms of global AI governance efforts, India co-chaired that particular thematic working group along with France, and a cartograph has been prepared to identify where the gaps in the AI governance systems lie across major international organizations, and hopefully those would be filled as we go along. India has also joined the Coalition on Sustainable AI, ensuring AI's alignment with the environmental and sustainable development goals. This complements India's AI compute strategy, which my ministry, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, is leading under the India AI mission. The aspect on future of work, we are also part of the collaborative network of AI observatories on work, and NASSCOM, which is an industry body in India, is representing India in this particular aspect. On AI security and risk management, CERTAN, which is our computer emergency response team in India on cybersecurity issues, is part of a joint high-level risk analysis group, so we are working on that aspect as well. On the whole, we believe that the summit represents very positive outcomes, not just for India and for the global south, but also for the world as a whole. We believe it represents a rebalancing of the approach towards AI, and therefore the time is right for India to host, as the Prime Minister offered, and the offer was accepted, that the next AI summit would be hosted in India later this year. And this will follow up on the fact that in 2023, India was the chair of the Global Partnership on Artificial Intelligence, GPAI. Incidentally, there was an informal ministerial gathering of GPAI as well on the sidelines of the AI summit, where again broadly similar goals were emphasized, and India emphasized both at the ministerial meeting, and also the Prime Minister made the point forcefully today that GPAI's membership also needs to be expanded. Currently, the Secretariat is with the OECD here, based here in Paris, but the expectation is that broadly, currently the membership is at 44 countries, and we should see a further expansion of the membership of GPAI as well. So with all of this, we believe that the possibilities of collaborating globally on harnessing the positive benefits of AI should happen. And we should also have a number of other countries who are participating in this process to make it truly inclusive. Thank you.
We now open the floor for questions. Can we go here? Sahil?
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Sahil Pandey from ANI News Agency. What is India's perspective for AI in terms of the global south? Because India is the voice of the global south. And also, one more question is that is India working on its own chat box as well?
Okay, you want me to take that?
So we'll take
Take a few more.
Collect.
Siddhant?
Sir, I have a question first to Foreign Secretary and Secretary Krishnan. Foreign Secretary, there is this growing discourse about AI race amongst the big countries, big players on a global stage. How do India look at this AI race? I want your comments on that. And Secretary Krishnan, if you could elaborate a little bit on how India has contributed to make AI Action Summit successful, because we've been told that we were part of 5 working groups, and in fact we helped France in conceptualizing this entire event. There's definitely, it is a recognition of Prime Minister Modi's vision and the way he had unveiled the roadmap of AI India last year. But if you can elaborate a little bit how India has contributed to this summit. Thank you so much.
Vishal?
सर, मैं विशाल पांडे हूं एबीपी न्यूज से। प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा है कि साइबर सुरक्षा, गलत सूचना और डीप फेक पर जो चिंताएं हैं उनका समाधान करना होगा। क्या इस पर चर्चा हुई? कोई प्रस्ताव आया है कि कैसे इन समस्याओं से निपटा जाएगा? क्योंकि भारत में भी या पूरी दुनिया में डीप फेक एक बहुत चिंता का विषय है।
So we can take these questions.
So you'll go with that one and then I'll go with the other 3.
Well, I think this is also down your alley, but let me just say that this element of or this perception of a global race. I think yes, there have been statements made and positions taken that would perhaps contribute to this perception. But I think I would, go by what the Prime Minister emphasized in his remarks today, that AI must be developed for the global good and it must be developed for all. And therefore, while there may be countries or corporates or enterprises that might be in a race, I think from our perspective in India, and I think the Secretary is better placed to comment on this, our perspective is more in terms of outcomes and objectives. And those objectives are to increase global public good through the development of AI. Other countries will do what they have to do. We, through our national AI mission, will do what we see is the right thing to do. And this is not something in which we will necessarily be influenced or allow ourselves to be influenced by geopolitics. Our emphasis is going to be on outcomes and deliver the greatest good for the greatest number of people.
Thank you. On the first question on what India has done for the Global South primarily and how we have represented the interests of the Global South, I think we need to understand that right from the time of the G20, where we brought in AI into the G20 narrative as well, and part of the G20 declaration focused on what needs to happen in terms of AI and inclusive AI. And even at that stage, the African Union and various other entities were brought into into G20. So it was fairly clear that we were speaking up for the Global South in this particular space. As you're also aware that we are working very closely with the Global South on expanding the scope of DPIs and deploying digital public infrastructure in those areas. We already have MOUs with 17 countries and growing, where we are supporting them with DPIs. And DPIs and the establishment of DPIs there could also logically lead to more AI getting used in that space. So in in that sense, again, we are supporting what needs to happen with the Global South. Even today, the Prime Minister spoke out that there needs to be inclusion and the Global South needs to come in. In the GPI summit, we invited a number of countries of the Global South to join, and undoubtedly in the next summit also, which India will be hosting, we will make sure that the Global South is adequately represented. So in that sense, I think no one can really question India's commitment towards expanding the benefits of AI and digital public infrastructure to the Global South. There was this other question on what India is doing about India-based chatbots. We are using a number of chatbots already in a number of spaces, including in the space of agriculture. It is already being extensively used as part of the AgriStack program, and that has been deployed even in other areas within our DigiLocker system, within our Umang system, where you can access a number of government programs. Indian chatbots have been developed and are being used. Very extensive use here is made of Bhashini, which currently is now available for 22 Indian languages. So it is possible to actually, for a farmer or any other common citizen, to seek replies or get clarifications in their own language. And that translation has been truly enabled. How has India contributed to the success of this particular summit? I think India's contribution has been significant. We have engaged right from the month of May in all of the 5 working groups. There have been continuous meetings which our officers have attended. They've been part of consultations, not just the Indian official contribution. There have been a number of Indian enterprises, members of civil society who have been part of the deliberations, and even they are here in Station F and at other locations. And in many of the side events, they are very, very prominent. And there has been a fairly wide acceptance of some of the views that Indian technical experts have been expressing, including on aspects of how some of this regulation can take place and how this can function as digital public infrastructure. So some of that debate and some of that discussion has been led by Indian technical experts as well. So the participation from Indian academia, Indian technical experts, other stakeholders, and private sector, including a large number of startups, has been quite remarkable. Some of them have also been displaying some of their innovations in the Grand Palais, the venue of the event. So I think in terms of contribution, it's been extremely significant. और जहाँ तक आपका सवाल है, ये साइबर सिक्योरिटी और डीप फेक का जहाँ तक सवाल है, आज इसके बारे में अपने भाषण में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने भी जिक्र किया था कि ये बहुत अहम बातें हैं जिस पे कि गौर की जानी चाहिए और इस पे कुछ ठोस एक्शन करना चाहिए. जहां तक भारत का सवाल है, हमारे कानून में अभी डीप फेक्स और मिसरिप्रेजेंटेशन को टैकल करने के लिए काफी प्रावधान बने हुए हैं. आप जानते हैं आईटी एक्ट में भी और भारतीय न्याय संहिता बीएनएस में भी इसके प्रावधान हैं और इसके अंतर्गत लॉ एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसीज, पुलिस, बाकी एजेंसीज अक्सर इस पर एक्शन लेती हैं, कार्रवाई करती हैं. काफी सारे देशों से हमसे ये भी पूछा गया है कि ऐसे प्रावधान आपके कानून में हैं, हमारे यहाँ ऐसे प्रावधान नहीं हैं, इसके लिए क्या किया जा सकता है. और मैं ये भी बताना चाहता हूं कि हम इस मामले में पूरी तरह संविधान के अंतर्गत हम कार्रवाई करते हैं. आर्टिकल 19 की क्लॉज 2 है, उसके अंतर्गत फ्री स्पीच पे कुछ रिस्ट्रिक्शंस लगाए जा सकते हैं, लॉफुल रिस्ट्रिक्शंस लगाए जा सकते हैं. उसी के अंतर्गत हम ये कार्रवाई करते हैं और इंडियन आईटी एक्ट में भी इसका उससे भी रेस्ट्रिक्टेड जो प्रोविजंस हैं उसके अंतर्गत हम ये एक्शन करते हैं. अतः ये जो है कानूनी तौर पर और हमारे भारत के न्यायालयों में भी हाई कोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट तक इसका क्वेश्चनिंग हुआ है और ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल माना गया है। अतः ये मतलब इंडिया में जो है ये बहुत ही अच्छा इम्पैक्ट लेके रहा है और हम ये भी पाते हैं आजकल कि बड़े बड़े सोशल मीडिया एंटिटीज जल्द से जल्द इसको मान जाते हैं। पहले टाइम लगता था, जबकि एक ऑर्डर पास हुआ या कुछ डीप फेक या मिसरिप्रेजेंटेशन है उसको हटाने में थोड़ी देर लगती थी, लेकिन आजकल हम पाते हैं कि 1-2 घंटे के अंदर वो तुरंत एक्शन लेते हैं और उसमें दिक्कत नहीं आ रही है और वॉलंटरी कोऑपरेशन भी काफी बढ़ चुका है। और अगर ऐसा कोई संभावना हमारे ध्यान में आती है तो तुरंत उनको बताया जाता है और काफी समय वो अपने आप एक्ट कर देते हैं, जो ऑफिशियल ऑर्डर की भी वो इंतजार नहीं करते हैं। सो ये प्रावधान अभी बना हुआ है और मेरे ख्याल से ये काफी अच्छी तरह चल रहा है। डीप फेक के अंतर्गत एक विषय है कि टेक्नोलॉजी और अच्छी होते जा रही है तो डिटेक्शन में थोड़ा डिले होता है, तो हम ये चाहेंगे कि जितना जल्दी हो सके वो टेक्नोलॉजी और अच्छा टेक्नोलॉजी अपनाकर उसको डिटेक्ट करने में हमको सुविधा हो, ये ज्यादा जरूरी है और इस पे हम आजकल काम कर रहे हैं। थैंक यू।
एक सवाल वहां जी।
सर नमस्कार, मैं ब्रिजमोहन सिंह रघुवंशी हूं साधना समूह से। मेरे 2 प्रश्न हैं। पिछले वर्ष आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी यूरोप के दौरे पे जब थे G7 समिट में, वो उन्होंने अपनी उपस्थिति दर्ज कराई थी। दूसरा, अभी हम इस बार देख रहे हैं यूरोप को खास तौर से आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को ऐसा लग रहा है कि बहुत ज्यादा फोकस वो कर रहे हैं खास तौर से यहाँ पे। और दूसरा, वो हम जानना चाहेंगे आखिरकार यूरोप को इससे पहले भी जो प्रधानमंत्री लोग थे वो खास तौर से अगर हम बात करें तो उनका ध्यान जो है विश्व में 2-3 देशों के ऊपर ज्यादा आधारित और केंद्रित रहता था, लेकिन यूरोप पे और पूरे विश्व में देख रहा हूं कि प्रधानमंत्री जी का एक फोकस है। और दूसरा मेरा प्रश्न है, एआई समिट की बात आपने की, तो एआई समिट अभी इस बार देश में हमारे जब होगा तो जो वर्तमान में जितने यहाँ प्रतिनिधि जो उसमें शामिल हो रहे हैं उसके अलावा भी कुछ ऐसे देश शामिल होंगे या जितने देश इसमें एआई समिट में यहाँ शामिल हो रहे हैं पेरिस में, वही देश इसमें शामिल होंगे?
Question there, yeah, please.
Sir, this is Rajadhari from All India Radio. The U.S. Vice President in the summit, in his address, he has mentioned that excessive regulation will kill this transformative industry. How are we going to balance between these regulations and innovation? And my second question is about the job losses on artificial intelligence. Prime Minister also talked about it, and he also mentioned we have to do the skilling and reskilling. How are we going to mitigate the effects of artificial intelligence?
Hi,
Please.
sir. Tapas Bhattacharya from Doordarshan. Just wanted to check with you, digital infrastructure you mentioned. Is there any, in this particular summit, any talk about from the French side as well as from the Indian side about collaboration on the digital infrastructure? Because when we spoke to French minister or Foreign Affairs Minister, he said that they are looking at that. So could you share if there is any talk on that?
So can we take these questions?
So would you just answer
the Europe thing, I think the rest are. देखिए ब्रिजमोहन जी, आपका जो सवाल है मैं अगर ठीक तरह से समझ पाया हूं कि यूरोप पे प्रधानमंत्री जी का फोकस है और आपका तात्पर्य कहने का कि पहले नहीं रहा है, शायद नहीं रहा है। नहीं, मैं दूसरे प्रधानमंत्रियों की बात न करते हुए मैं अगर अभी जो जिस फोकस की आप बात कर रहे हैं, मेरे विचार में वो फोकस सही है, क्योंकि यूरोप के जो देश हैं, आप अगर यूरोपियन यूनियन ले लें तो वो एक बहुत बड़ी एक आर्थिक एंटिटी है, लेकिन इंडिविजुअली भी अगर आप देखें तो कई ऐसे देश हैं जो आर्थिक स्तर पे बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण देश हैं हमारे लिए। अगर ईयू को पूरी तरह से ले लिया जाए तो चाहे वो व्यापार हो, चाहे तकनीकी सहयोग हो, चाहे जो पीपल टू पीपल रिलेशनशिप है हम लोगों के बीच में, या डेवलपमेंट कोऑपरेशन पे जो कार्यक्रम बन रहे हैं, इन सभी दृष्टिकोणों से ये बहुत ही एक महत्वपूर्ण संबंध है। और ये सही है कि हमारी ओर से इन संबंधों पे ध्यान दिया जा रहा है। तो प्रधानमंत्री जी के लिए तो ये इसका एक प्राथमिकता के रूप पे उभरना मेरे विचार में this is an obvious thing that for such an important relationship or sets of relationships there would be this kind of focus from the government और ये आगे भी चलता रहेगा मेरे विचार में।
जहां तक इंडिया में जो होने वाली एआई समिट है, पिछले बार जब जीपाई समिट भी हुआ था इंडिया में, हमने बाकी देशों से भी लोगों को इनवाइट किया था। यहाँ पे पेरिस में जो अभी ये समिट हुआ है, इसमें मेरा अंडरस्टैंडिंग है कि करीब करीब 80 देशों और इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, मतलब यूएन के काफी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस भी, आईटीयू, यूनेस्को, यूएन वगैरह भी वो भी आए हुए थे, यहाँ पे उपस्थित थे। इस हिसाब से हम विदेश मंत्रालय के साथ काम करते हुए अन्य देशों को भी इसमें हम आमंत्रित करेंगे। जरूर ग्लोबल साउथ के देशों को प्रमुखता दी जाएगी। एशिया और अफ्रीका और लैटिन अमेरिका, ये तीनों क्षेत्रों से हम ज्यादा देशों की उपस्थिति तय कराने की पूरी कोशिश करेंगे। हमारे तरफ से तो यही कोशिश रहेगी और विदेश मंत्रालय के साथ इस पर हम जुटे रहेंगे। देयर वाज अ क्वेश्चन ऑन regulation and innovation. As far as India is concerned, our focus has been very clear. We have said the focus has to be primarily on innovation, and regulation currently is secondary. We believe that as far as AI regulation is concerned, certain aspects of it are already addressed under existing laws. I just mentioned about, things like deepfakes. Existing law is sufficient to address deepfake and misrepresentation. Likewise, if you take the issue of copyrights, there is existing law and the matter is also sub judice. So in some sense, the legal framework is addressing the issue. There is also the question of how personal data can be used. That is being addressed through the Digital Personal Data Privacy Protection Act. DPDP Act is addressing that particular issue. So we believe that we have, under various existing laws, we have addressed most of the current issues on regulation of AI. So the focus from our side needs to be much more on innovation, because we believe that benefits for a country like India are tremendous from AI. We also believe that unlike in many Western countries, because we do not have as many white-collar jobs, we stand to lose less, whereas there could be opportunities for actually employment. In some ways, it could be similar to what the Y2K movement was for the Indian software industry. And we can actually employ a large number of our human resources, because we have a large STEM human resource base, and the Stanford AI Index holds that we are very high in terms of AI preparedness for talent. So we believe there's actually an opportunity for India's talent to help various other countries in the world also navigate this AI space and develop AI-based applications for their own economies. So to that extent, I think both the regulation and innovation aspect and the job loss aspect is sort of something we believe is more an opportunity in India's case than a risk. It, of course, is very crucial that we have to get it done. We have to ensure that the skilling and the retraining happens wherever it is necessary. And with that, we should be able to achieve these goals. The last question is on DPI collaboration, specifically with France. We've been very open to DPI collaborations across the world, and we believe that the DPIs that India offers are relevant not just for the developing world of the global south, but can be applied even in developed countries. In fact, equivalent of UPI is something that we have offered even the European Union when they are developing their wallet and so on. There are applications we have developed in India, including UPI and DigiLocker and so on, which can be very useful even in a European context. So we would be engaging with France as well in further discussions on this. Of course, either the Foreign Secretary or the Ambassador can throw further light on any specific bilateral matter there.
Thank you, sir. With that, we come to the closure of this press briefing. See you, ladies and gentlemen, in Marseille tomorrow. Thank you.